Welcome to the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. 40Gs, G's que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traigan lo nuevo a huevo. Doesn't matter where you from, Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere. Todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos, empurgamos. Soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas to all you LA Galaxy fans out there, wherever you may be. Welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and thank you to all you La Cuna Galaxians out there doing your thing and showing us love and chat. We definitely appreciate it. Today, we're going to be previewing the LA Galaxy's upcoming away match versus the Colorado Rapids on Wednesday, October 2nd, a match that could be key in deciding the West race and playoff seeding for both teams. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can always find my written work at Extra Time Talk, and you can find me online at El Escudero, the LA. And of course, I'm sitting in the chair, and right next to me is my co-host, as always, the ride or die, GN homie, El Yerno Guapo y El Gitano Perdido, Anandita Kirana. Ananda, we got another one, another big match coming up. How do you feeling? Are you nervous at all?
Yeah, man, we got another one, DJ Khaled style, right? But I mean, like I said, I feel excited, man. I've been feeling excited, really for the last couple shows, right? We've put ourselves in a very good position. We had a little math lesson last time. We'll do another mini math lesson, a little arithmetic lesson this time as well, just to see what position the Galaxy are in, especially after the weekend's results, which was kind of interesting, right? We'll delve a little bit into that. But I think all of us as Galaxy fans, we got to feel excited. Guys, remember where you were at this point last season, right? The season was basically over. And fan appreciation night, I remember that night distinctly, Robert, in that stadium. I did not feel good at all walking out of that stadium.
Not appreciated.
That last game was a blitz by the other team. I can't remember who we played now in the last game of the season. It's kind of left my memory, so I've completely forgotten about it because I remember just how dejected I felt coming out of the stadium at that point, and I was like, you know what, things have got to change. Let's look forward to next season. Let bygones be bygones. But given where we were at that point a year ago, and given where we are now, man, like we've all got to feel excited as LA Galaxy fans for sure.
What a difference a year made.
Is that a new Frank Sinatra joint?
Oh yeah. He just dropped it. They found it in the vault.
Yeah,
no lie, they actually just found a Mozart track. Neither here nor there to the Galaxy, but they literally just found a new Mozart piece. So for all you guys that like classical music, new Mozart dropping this summer. Anyway, so we have a bunch to get through, so I don't know why I'm delaying or dilly-dallying, but anyway, Ananda, I've mentioned to you a couple times, we hit 300 subs. We're at 310 plus now, and it's all because of the wonderful people in chat that are there and supporting us. And so thank you to you guys. Man, just corazoncitos para ustedes. Los amamos. Ananda, hit some housekeeping.
Yeah, I will hit some housekeeping. So for sure, you guys can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. Of course, if you are watching us on video, our tags are right there. Go ahead and follow us or stalk us, guys. And of course, you can always find us on all of your socials at La Cuna Galaxiana is the handle. Pretty simple there. And of course, for everyone coming back into the chat, into our YouTube channel. What's up, Kobe? Hey, guys. Kobe Cosmo's trying to get on the show as a special guest today because we have no guest, unfortunately. But Kobe Cosmo's trying to get in there. But of course, if you guys are coming back to the YouTube channel, welcome back and glad to see you again, chat. I feel like it's been forever, but it's only been a couple days. Remember, we had Los Precis on last time, and that was a really fun conversation with them and with chat as well. And of course, guys, just wanted to just take a quick moment and just say a really, really big thank you. I know that, we do this pod off of Little Horchata, and that little sugar rush helps us go a long way. So we just want to say thank you. I don't even
have that horchata tonight, man.
I know. I was waiting for that strawberry one, Papa.
I can kick the habit anytime I want. But no,
I had a nice one over the weekend. But shout out to my wife because she made. Oh man, I got to bring you some, man. She made this like little. It's called a natilla. And we put a little cinnamon in there, so it's got that like horchata. It's got that like little horchata flavor in there, and oh man, it was good. So that was my sugar rush for this evening. But no, in all seriousness, just want to thank everyone that's helped out this little teeny tiny show, like we always say, and contributed to our horchata fund. But of course, guys, if you always want to contribute and help out this little show, you can always buy us horchata. I flash on screen there at buymeacoffee.com. I guess Kobe Cosmo wants one too, right? He wants a little horchata fund as well, it sounds like. So guys, buymeacoffee.com/La Cuna Galaxiana. And of course, Roberto, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxia con el Kobe Cosmo. No sé qué quiere, papá, pero bueno.
Well, I normally when we do the pod, the Minister of Finance is hanging out with Kobe in the room, and he's the Kraken is kept under control with lots of treats and cajoling. Today, wifey is in Florida, so he has free reign of the house, and he's really going for it today. So anyway, everybody, Kobe Cosmo is the third host today. You guys will probably hear him again. So who knows what kind of point he'll be trying to make, but since he's my son, he'll be trying to be in opposition of whatever I'm saying, contrarian, but anyway, yes, like Ananda was saying, you can always catch us on at Laguna Alexander, pretty much on everything. And now you guys can help out this humble little pod if you guys so want, and keep us stocked up on strawberry chata. But yeah, let's take it away on some shout outs.
I was just gonna say it, but of course you guys can always just hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. That's gonna be the best way you're gonna support this show. And Rob said, you guys can find us on just pretty much everywhere. Obviously YouTube and Spotify and Apple. And we might have something still in the works, guys, but we'll make that announcement as it comes. So there you go. I'll leave you with that cliffhanger.
I saw a couple people in chat talking about the Bacon Rat hot dogs outside the digs. Go ahead and show those folks some love. They work hard. And of course, GCam is saying that they will strike a deal with you. Me da 3x12, and the lady was like, "Sí, mijo."
Sounds about right.
They'll strike a deal with
GCam.
you. Raul G says, LCG live show from the hot dog carrito modelos.
Eso es.
I mean, that you're doing it real big right there. Oh, and of course, one and only Rosio says, Kobe Cosmo. Yes, he has decided to settle down by my feet. So let's see how long that lasts, everybody. But it's going to be a good night with talking about the Galaxy playing Colorado. Both teams have turned around their fortunes significantly. So it's not only Galaxy that have turned it around, and what a difference a year makes. Colorado as well. I mean, they were the only team that was worse than the Galaxy last year in 14th, and now they're playoff bound. Yeah. But yes, right along to shout outs. Today, this gentleman that I have right over my right shoulder, Joe Tutino. Whenever we have the opportunity to look upon him, Joe content is always amazing. And recently, the Galaxy gave us the latest Our Galaxy episode 31, focused on the legend Joe Tutino and how he prepares for game day, which was something that I always wondered about. Like, what does he do to prepare? Kind of like read up on the other team. And so if you've ever wondered, just like myself, go ahead and check out episode 31 of Our Galaxy. Shout out Joe Tutino, of course. One of my dream come trues happened earlier this year when we had him on this show. And of course,
so good. So good.
We've been lucky enough to have a lot of really great guests on the show. Ananda, I mean, we had Judge Sophie and Tommy Bogert, Joe and Chelo Balboa. So we've had that opportunity and thankfully had a chance to talk to all these fine folk. Go ahead and check out that back catalog, yo. But yeah, go ahead and check out this episode of our Galaxy as well, guys, and show Joe some support.
I was just going to say, just a really, really massive shout out, I think, to the video team or whoever produces this content, Rob, for the Galaxy. It's one of those stories, like you said, you've always wondered what kind of preparation and sort of Joe's game day ritual. I know a lot of our game day rituals involve Joe, and it was just such a good story to tell. So like big shout out to the video team for telling that story. And I love when stories are told like that, especially with legends like the great Joe Tutino. So just want to shout that out.
Yeah, man, we need to cherish these club institutions like Joe and Don Raul while we can. Don Raul, 96. That's all I gotta say. Happy birthday to Jaime San Penedo, a huge part of the 2014 LA Galaxy MLS Cup winning team. He played from Los Angeles from just the end of the 2013 season to halfway in 2015. Played for Los Angeles 66 times and had 23 shutouts. Of course, the big one won MLS Cup, known as San Penedo for his ability to make crazy saves that just are inspired from on high. But when I was learning about his stay with the Galaxy today, Ananda, or like kind of like reading up on it, I was really surprised because it seemed like he was between the sticks there at the digs or it wouldn't have been the digs back then. It would have been like the Home Depot Center, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. It felt like he was between the six forever, but apparently it was only one full season and not even like not even two, like combined with like 2013 games and 2015 games. So crazy how a Galaxy figure becomes larger than life. And he's only there for about a season and a half, but he just becomes part of the history in an institution. So happy birthday to him. Hopefully he had a wonderful one, surrounded by friends and family. Ananda, this is one that I've been talking about for a while. The 2025 Club World Cup is hitting the United States shores. You'll have, South American teams like Fluminense and you'll have MLS teams like Seattle. You have Mexican teams like Leon. And then, of course, you'll have your European teams like Man City, Real Madrid, Atleti. And they're all coming here to the United States. And recently, the stadiums were announced now between June and July 2025. 32 of those leading club cups around. Damn, I can't even talk today, Ananda. Leading club teams around the world will be vying for this cup. 32 of them, like I said. And we have a bunch of stadiums around the country. Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, Bank of America in Charlotte, TQL in Cincinnati, the Rose Bowl here in Pasadena, Los Angeles, Hard Rock in Miami, Geodis in Nashville, Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Inter & Co Stadium, Orlando, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Lumen Field in Seattle, Audi Field in Washington, and of course, the final will be in New York. So now New York has both the World Cup final and the Club World Cup final.
Right.
Yeah. So big times for them. Of course, if you're out there and you're saying, man, it sucks that the Galaxy isn't going to be playing in this tournament. Well, there is still a path for the Galaxy to be part of this tournament. It's true that there are only 4 CONCACAF spots available, but the Champions League winner of CONCACAF gets an automatic berth to the Club World Cup. So the Galaxy's path would be this year. They're almost assured qualification to the Champions Cup through the non-supportive shield winning conference top seed route. So all they got to do is now just go out and win the whole damn thing. And then they'll be part of the Club World Cup. So really easy, right, Ananda?
Yeah.
but there's still always a chance that they'll be part of this tournament. It seems a shame that in a tournament like this that the Galaxy is not going to be a part of it. So hopefully, like I said, they just won the whole damn thing, the whole damn Champions League, and they become part of this tournament. So anyway, Kobe is for that idea. But anyway, so there's still 2 spots left in that. Hopefully the Galaxy pick up one of those spots. Guys, we did bring to you another drop that the Galaxy is doing, as if your wallets didn't already hate you. We did bring you this one before. They are dropping now officially the Sworn to Us collaboration in Stadium on 10/5. This is per Galaxy socials, of course. And I mean, this is a wonderful vintage tee that shows off the Galaxy Championship rings. So anytime any kind of lame out there in the world is talking mess about the Galaxy, all you got to do is show them the 5 rings and the 5 stars. And anyway, pick this one up in Stadium on 10/5. And of course, as if your wallets didn't already hate you, you absolutely got to pick up the 1-2-3 Cienfuegos drop. Of course, that comes with a Al Cien t-shirt and an autographed bobblehead by the great man himself, the Galaxy legend himself. So go ahead and pick that one up. It's gonna go quick, and when it goes, it's gone, and it's gone forever, and you're gonna hate yourself.
Just like Rosia says, just take my money. # Rich Galaxy fans. My God, this year has been a really good one for Galaxy creators. So shout out all of you for taking money out of our wallets, man. Like great, just really good stuff. All, by the way, and not even just the creators, like the 1-2s and the FQs and the I mean, just even the license gear, man, has been absolute fire. So shout out to the retail team for that, 100%.
Well, you brought up the video team earlier, right?
Yeah.
And Anthony Martinez says the Sworn to Us shirt is being added to the closet. My sentiments exactly. I might have to catch the fade for this one as well.
Let me pull that up again.
Yeah, I mean, it's gangster, man. I mean, just plain and simple. Like I said, I might have to catch the fade. But you shouted out the video team, and as a storytellers, we love what they're doing, obviously, but the merch team too is like, not only are they putting out amazing product, but they are collaborating with Galaxy local creators, people that are fans, that are passionate about the team, that have their ear to the ground on what fans around them actually want to see. And credit to Nelson Ariaza as well from Galaxy merch. I believe he's kind of like the spearhead on all that. He's regularly in the Corner of the Galaxy Discord, asking Galaxy fans what they think and kind of getting feedback, what would they like to see. So shout out to him. Shout out to not only the video team but the merch team as well. They're killing it. I mean, they're doing good work.
And Rob, this is all part of just the new regime that we're operating under, and that extra connection to the fans, right? And this is this is all touch points of the brand, the LA Galaxy brand. This is your game day experience, your retail experience, your video. I mean, this is all stuff that we were asking for last year. And yeah, like you said, I don't think those teams get enough credit. So we're going to give credit to them on this show. I think you guys have absolutely hit it out of the park. And man, really, really good stuff with reconnecting with the fan base. 100%.
XPH has dropped into the chat, and he is shouting out your jersey, Ananda.
Yeah, unfortunate result over the weekend, and man, there was some crazy stuff that happened in there, by the way. Speaking of just like the whole thing that happened to the Ultras, my goodness. But anyways, thank you, my sir.
I will be saying less about my European club team because they are just a shambles.
For your sake, yeah. For your sake, yeah, Baba.
Concept of a plan 10 hag. But anyway,
yeah, Anthony's repeating the same sentiment, by the way. Sorry, kind of switch back gears, but
love the collaboration's been going on. Can't wait for the FO to link up with more of our local creators and raise each other up. Yeah, totally. I mean, we were saying it. I mean, like it. I love the fact that they're actually going out there and engaging with people that are in the stands and that are passionate about the team. And I mean, you see how people are responding to things like that. So I will counsel, this is year one. Like the zeal and the fervor whenever you do anything is there in initially, right? So the onus now is on the LSC not to, you don't have to like, go bigger and better every single time, but maintain consistency for sure. And again, they've been killing it. Hopefully they keep on killing it. No indications that they'll stop doing so. But anyway, that's kind of like my caveat and like my word of advice to those teams, like keep up the passion, because LA Galaxy fans will keep the passion with you if you keep on giving them what they need. But speaking of keeping up the passion, October 5th is the last home game, and if you're not doing the whiteout party with Comets, then you're not doing the game right. Quite simply put, Comets will be throwing a whiteout party where your best all-white fits on Saturday, October 5th. That'll be in lot 13 near Lars. And yeah, all G's are welcome. Their beer partner is Crown and Hops, who has been providing Comets with tasty selections. So get out there, dress in your best white, dress to impress, and have a good time before the last game of the season. And if you're not going to be at the white party, get out there and hang out with the Galaxy community and have a good time before, the last regular home season game and before the playoffs start, because playoffs are going to be intense.
I'm sure, I'm sure we'll have more info on other tailgates that are happening with the other supporter groups, etc. I'm sure those are going to come later in the week when we do the preview on Thursday. So stay tuned for that, guys.
Yeah, Anthony Martinez says shout out to Comets. Yes, shout out to them and all the supporter groups. I'm sure they're going to make the atmosphere amazing for the last home game of the season. Like you said, on
Fortress
last year, Fan Appreciation Day, you did not feel appreciated. It had our brother G Cam out there in the parking lot bargaining for glizzies. Everybody was down in the dumps, and this year it's going to be a damn party in that place, man. Yeah, Anthony Martinez says Lars with the Cumbias. Of course, the Cumbia band will be out there. It's just going to be a party, and y'all should have a good time. Y'all deserve it, because after that, the work starts. Like I said, playoffs are going to be intense. So anyway, bringing you that VCFC update, y'all. Playoffs are almost here for VCFC, but they stumbled in their second to last game. They fielded a really strong lineup in this match with some players that are on the fringes of the first team. Ruben Ramos Jr., Isaiah Parente, Tucker Lepley, Harbor Miller. All these players have been with the first team before, and Harbor Miller and Ruben Ramos Jr. put them up 2-1 after 68 minutes, but unfortunately 2 unanswered goals from St. Louis City 2 resulted in that 3-2 loss for VCFC at home, the Willie Roll, in their last home game of the regular season. Support was amazing, though. Saw videos and just everybody was showing out. But VCFC was not able to pick up the win. They're now in 6th in the Western Conference with 42 points. Next up, I believe they have their last game of the season against Real Monarchs in Salt Lake on Sunday, October 6th at 1 p.m. Go ahead and support your VCFC in their last game of the season. And of course, throughout the playoffs, Ananda, I've been saying it, man. We got to get out to the Willie Roll, bro. We have to make this happen.
I know. It's definitely much of a shorter drive for you than it is for me, though, Papa. So where's
the Willie Roll?
It's towards like Thousand Oaks. I mean, obviously they're Ventura County, right? So it's in that area, closer to you, right off the 134, right there. So yeah, we just got to plan it. Just got to plan it for sure. Especially when they get in the playoffs. Both of our teams are going to be in the playoffs. The first team and the second team. So yeah, we got to show that support, man. But speaking of the first team, let's get into this preview, huh?
Yeah, let's get it, man. Well, the Galaxy play their last midweek game of the year. Let's look at where these two teams are, the Galaxy and Colorado, heading into this matchup. Through 31 matches played in 2024, the Galaxy have a 17-7-7 record. 63 goals for, 46 goals against, a whole 21 goals less than last year at this point. They are
Insane.
on, yeah, insane. 58 points on the year, averaging 1.87 points per game. They are still first place in the Western Conference, 6 points ahead of number 2, LAFC, who has 1 game in hand now, 6 points ahead of number 3, RSL, and 8 points ahead of their next opponent, Colorado. They are second in the Supporter Shield standing, 6 points behind leaders Inter Miami, 7 points rather, 1 point ahead of Columbus, who has a game in hand, and 2 points ahead of Cincinnati. After 31 games, the Galaxy's opponent is in 4th place, like we mentioned. They are on 50 points with 1.61 points per game, 15-11 and 5 record, 58 goals for, 53 goals against. Their last match was a 3-0 away loss to Minnesota United, but before that they had won 3 of 4. They have scored 8 goals in the last 5 matches, and the Galaxy has a tall order on their hands because they've lost only twice at home all season, a place that the Galaxy has already had a lot of trouble going to. So,
yeah.
Somebody earlier in the chat said trap game. I don't know.
No. Don't bring that up again.
Yeah.
The last time I jinxed
did.
it. The last time I think it was GCam. GCam, don't jinx it, man. I jinxed it last time. It was my fault. So I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it this time.
Colorado's not a bad team, man. I mean,
I don't think this is a trap game. They're a good team. Exactly. Like you said, they're a good team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trap game in so much that they might not get the result they want. But yeah, Colorado's a good team. And yeah, like we mentioned in the standings, I mean, the Galaxy are still in first place, but they didn't even have a game this past weekend, but plenty of matches happen around them and plenty of impactful matches happen around them.
Yeah.
So back with another edition of Let's Do Maths, presented by Dr. Raquinho, is Ananda Karana.
He's my producer for that one. Yeah, for sure. XPH is your producer for producer for all things LA Galaxy podcast, and Raquinho is producer for this little math arithmetic session. But no, so obviously some notable results over the weekend, guys, that are putting the standings as such as you see on the screen right there. Colorado, a big 3-0 loss at Minnesota. So then they're coming into this kind of seeking revenge, right? They've lost they haven't had some good results lately. Minnesota, by the way, surging in 8th place. They have now taken that. They're tied on level on points with Portland, but they've officially taken over that 8th place mantle. That's going to be a really, really interesting one to watch, as the final 2 places, of course, the wild card spot and the 8th spot are still up for grabs in the Western Conference. RSL, this was a big one for us. A tie at Austin. Go ahead.
Time. 2 things. You know how Maya's saying great teams don't lose twice in a row?
Yeah.
Well, in an interview the other day, Chris Armas, post that 3-0 loss to Minnesota, said much the same thing. You know, these boys are going to pick themselves up, and they aren't going to let themselves lose a second game in a row. So both teams, even though the Galaxy, you know, didn't lose, they have that same mentality, right? So look for Colorado to go out there and be dogs, man. And then to Jeff's point, if the Galaxy are going to win this conference, they have to show they can win matches like this on the road. Absolutely. That is actually one of the main points of my article that'll be dropping tomorrow. So check that out on Extra Time Talk, y'all. I'll go ahead and shoot that link out there for all you. But yeah, they absolutely need to win this match. But anyway, you were at RSL.
Yeah. RSL with, I think, a shocking result. They were at Austin, for all intents and purposes, they're pretty much out of the playoffs at this point. I think it's just a matter of time for them. I think the writing's on the wall. But, you know, RSL threw away 3 points, Robert, after being up by 2 goals after 80 minutes. And Austin, out of nowhere, just kind of scored 2 goals on him. So that was a big, big result, because now that game in hand that RSL had really didn't affect our position against them so much. They're on 52 points, as is LAFC. And this was the big one, man. This is the one that we were kind of counting on. Unfortunately, they did go on the road and beat Cincinnati 2-1. You know, we thought there would be maybe some hangover after that Open Cup final win, right? But nope. They put a number on Cincinnati, and so now they become officially our biggest threat, Robert. And but the magic number still remains. And you've been saying this. The Galaxy pretty much need 7 points to finish with 65 and automatically would win out the West, right? So LAFC, of course, even if they won out all their games, would get a maximum of only 64 points. So LAFC is by far our biggest challengers. And of course, if let's say LAFC wins out and we only get 6 points out of the next 9, so that's 2 wins. Again, assuming LAFC wins out, the G's would be level on points with LAFC. And this is where I want to correct myself from last time. There's 2 tiebreakers. Well, there's actually 9. I think there's 9 tiebreakers, Rob, in MLS.
Válgame Dios.
Yeah. It's like, it blows my mind. But I think these 2 are probably the most important. So tiebreaker number 1 goes with number of wins, which currently the Galaxy stands at 17-15 in favor of the Galaxy. Tiebreaker number 2 is what I talked about last time, which is goal difference, which currently stands at 17-13 in favor of the Galaxy. So it's really those 2 teams right now, Rob, that we're looking at for the West, for the race for that number 1 spot in the Western Conference. RSL has an outside shot, but let's say that the Galaxy only get 3 points, then they might kind of sneak in there depending on how all the other results go. They have an outside shot, but it's really all in our hands, man. If we take the 7 points, we win the West, and that's it. Simple as that.
Well, let's hope to every deity that you guys know and pray to and embrace that happens. I've been saying it, 7. I mean, they absolutely need to get a win in one of these remaining road matches and take a point from one of them as well. Yes, although you have a look on your face.
Well, I think so. Let's say LAFC wins there. I believe they have 4 remaining matches, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Let me pull up the standings again.
Correct.
4 remaining. So if we both
points.
Yeah. So actually, if we get let's say 6 points, so that's 2 more wins. We would be actually level on wins, so that would be 19 each, Robert. So the next tiebreaker would be goal difference, and that would be where the tiebreaker is. But I feel like 6 points is probably going to be enough, because obviously you would think that unless LAFC blows out one of these teams at the end, and I'm going to, by the way, as we're talking about this, I'm going to pull up the run-in. So this is the run-in, guys, for all the 4 teams sort of in contention for the top 4 spots, definitely for the number 1 seed as well. So unless LAFC blows out one of these teams, which at home at San Jose possibly could happen. I feel like 6 points. I feel like 6 points is going to be enough. Again, our goal difference right now is 4, and of course we've got to obviously increase that goal difference as we win out some of these games, right? So yeah, it's all in our hands though. This is the point. And a win in Colorado, which a place that we have not had a lot of luck in recently, in I think 8 years to be exact, or 7 years. It would go a long way to getting that number 1 seed.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to take care of business, right? I mean, everybody says, well, if results depending, like with the Galaxy right now, no results depending. Like they're in the driver's seat. They're in control. So
right.
Win at Colorado, take care of business. You're in the driver's seat. You're putting the pressure on everybody else, right? And then you got to win at home against Austin. I mean, you lose at home against Austin and it's calamitous, right? And the reason I'm bringing it up is because they did lose against Austin already this year. Of course, that one was away.
We were there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were there. About the only good thing about that trip was the free upgrade on the room and the many records that I picked up. No, it was a fun trip, but the game wasn't good at all. But anyway, I mean, yeah, it's a massive match. But despite the Galaxy still being in the driver's seat, recently some MLS pundits claimed that if LAFC is a team to if LAFC is healthy, they're the team to beat in the playoffs. They even have Seattle as a favorite over the Galaxy. What are you thinking on? Is this fair to the Galaxy? Is this a slight on the Galaxy, or are they just kind of like, well, the Galaxy has their deficiencies?
Well, I put it on the screen, by the way, too, for chat. Chat sound off on that too. I put up there who's the team to beat in the Western Conference. I mean, okay, so technically, remember going off of last year, LAFC were the Western Conference finalists, right? They were the Western Conference representatives, MLS Cup. So yes, from that vantage point, I mean, they are still the team to beat, right? You've got to get through them because they are sort of the reigning Western Conference champions. But look, I'm going to sort of second what Andrew Alasana and Matthew said last pod, which is just let them not talk about us, Rob. I'm good. I'm good staying in the shadows because you know what? That just kind of relieves the pressure off of us a little bit, puts more pressure on these other contenders to, Miami and LAFC and Columbus and whoever the darlings are, right, of Don Garber and MLS. I'm okay with that. Let us take care of our business. Let us put our heads down. Let the players not sort of succumb to that thing that can sort of inflate their ego or inflate their confidence, maybe artificially, right? And that's one thing that we don't need. Let's remember, guys, this is the first year of a rebuild. This team has not been playoff tested yet. This team is not, well, actually, we have been cup tested, and we failed that test, unfortunately, Leagues Cup, right? So it's like we've got to see what this team is made of in a playoff situation, in a cup competition, and then we'll see. But no, in terms of the pundits, I'm good with it. Like, I'm good with staying low.
Really quick, in answer to Tony Toscano's question, we need 7 points to clinch home field on all conference playoff stages. I thought, Tony, I believe whoever locks up the number 1 seed has home field advantage throughout the playoffs, unless they get to the final, in which case, whoever has the higher seeding or better record has the hosting privileges. But
right.
But no, I want those 7 points. I mean, Tony brings up the 7 points, or as you were calling them earlier, Tony Montana. All 7 points is vital. Like, close it out. Like, don't rely on anybody else. Don't rely on that narrative. Like, oh, so and so had to lose for you guys to sew it up. No, the Galaxy want to go out there and take this by the scruff of the neck. And you know how commanding it would be if they just won all 3 games and said, cool, we're ready for the playoffs. Like, let's go. Confidence.
Make a statement. Yeah.
Making that statement. I mean, sure, MLS pundits aren't talking about them right now, but I bet you if they went out those 3 games, I bet you people are going to stand up and notice. But it starts with 1, right? And that 1 is Colorado. Wednesday's match marks the 95th all-time meeting across all competitions between those 2 teams. LA leads the all-time series 47-34-13, and they hold a 39-32-13 record advantage in league play over Colorado. In the first meeting between the 2 teams this year, the Galaxy earned a 3-2 win at the Digs. Of course, in that one, there was a spot of controversy in the first half about a penalty, Cole Bassett's. And, of course, like clockwork, a man named Kevin Cabral scored against his old team and in front of his old fans. And I believe it was Jeff in 109 that was saying that it's probably going to happen again. Well, I believe Kevin Cabral is out for this match for Colorado. So unless he's going to be doing it on FIFA, I don't believe he's going to be scoring against the Galaxy in this one. But if he gets cleared, if he's on the field, he'll probably score against the Galaxy. It's like Murphy's Law.
It's written in the stars. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So we did talk about the Galaxy's road record against the Rapids, and 41 all-time league matches played on the road in Colorado. They hold a 13-21-7 record. Ooh, that's dirty. They'll be looking for a first win against Colorado on the road since June 21st, 2017. So that's
7 years. I was right.
That's a good 7 years, man. That's a good 7 years right there. And of course, this will be the first of the Galaxy's 2 matches in 4 days. They're third to last and coming up their second to last game of the season. Looking at some LA Galaxy team news, Ananda, one that we already knew about, Martin Cáceres is pretty much out indefinitely. We don't know if we've seen Martin for the last time in a Galaxy jersey, but if we have, we'll always have that game where he was looking over the ref's shoulder at the VAR screen.
I saw him making good mate though. You see that video that LA Galaxy released? It was like, that was funny. I love that. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, that's one of those things, right? It's like, I feel like there's just good camaraderie, especially against like the Spanish speaking players. Really, really good sort of brotherhood and like, that camaraderie amongst them. That's good to see.
Yeah, no, it's great to see the camaraderie, but brass tacks is that you're not going to keep Martin around to make mate. If he gets healthy, if he gets healthy, like who knows what's going to happen to him? But yeah, I mean he's out for the year. I'm pretty sure. I don't believe the Galaxy will get his services again this year. So yeah, it stands to reason that it might be the last time we've seen him in a Galaxy shirt because he's out of contract. So, but of course we'll bring you all those kinds of good tidbits once the season's over or getting close to the end of the season. And of course the other Galaxy player who's out for this one is Marco Reus. If you guys remember, he left the last game in the 66th, clutching his hamstring. Greg said it was precautionary, but it didn't look like it was too precautionary because he will be out against Colorado. Of course, Damon Calhoun reported that one from Galaxy training today. But if, Royce being out is kind of worrisome for the Galaxy, and I honestly don't think it's that worrisome. Colorado is a little bit more hit. They have two really important players that are out in this one on Sam Vines and Cole Bassett. Of course, Sam Vines, their young left back, 24 matches, 1 goal and 1 assist. He's going to be a big miss. I mean, Gabriel Pecchi is going to just try to run over whoever's over there on the right, trying to
Reggie Cannon.
So,
yeah.
Huh?
Reggie Cannon.
Yeah.
That's who their left back is now. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. So, I mean, Gabriel Pecchi is going to try anyway to have a field day there. And Cole Bassett, of course, they're homegrown. The defensive midfielder played 30 matches so far for Colorado, 29 of them being starts, having a career year in Nanda, 9 goals and 6 assists. Just massive for them, massive. And he's going to be out, and it's an opportunity for the Galaxy, to be honest. I mean, they're going to have Colorado missing 2 big pieces, so it's a chance for them to get out there and maybe take these 3 points against a Colorado team that they haven't been able to do that with. And of course, we mentioned Kevin Cabral. He'll be out. He's played 22 matches, 18 starts for Colorado, 5 goals and 1 assist. I believe those 5 goals matches his best ever Galaxy goal total in a year. But I was actually watching some of that Minnesota-Colorado game, and the announcers were big upping Cabral. They were saying that Colorado has suffered because they haven't had him to make those runs and kind of spread the field. So it's those intangible things sometimes that become important. But anyway,
yeah.
I always say this: Kevin Cabral, one of the nicest people that I've met covering this sport. Just such a good-hearted, big kid, and so I hope he gets better quick.
I mean, I'll say this: his speed is a huge threat, Robert. We saw it in the game here at Dignity Health Sports Park, and it's sort of like us playing without JP. Of course, different level, right? Different skill, different level of technique, but very, very similar. You see what the Galaxy look like without JP. That threat in behind is always there. It's always been there with Kevin Cabral. The issue has always been his level of finishing, right? And that's always been and that just the final product, the end product. And so, but his speed is always going to be a threat. So that's a big miss for them, man. Bigger than I think we think or we give them credit for.
No, I actually didn't really think about it until I heard the announcers say like how much they were missing him. And like I said, it's sometimes those intangible things that we don't really see because it's not on the score sheet or on the stat line. And I think that's one of the things that the Galaxy love Miguel Berry for, those intangible things, those like that work rate. But anyway, like I said, I hope Cabral gets better quick. Just that he doesn't score against the Galaxy anymore. GCam says, guys, help me out of a bind. It's between pho and Korean fish cake soup. I'm gonna go with pho myself.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Leo's saying pho too. Gary, go with pho. You cannot go wrong with a good bowl of pho.
Not to go against the homegirl or one and only real CEO who voted Korean fish cake, but I mean, just think about it. Just some pho. Oh man, that hits just right. Like a pho combination one with like the tripe and the tendon. Ooh, Charles.
Yeah.
Tengo hambre. But anyway, Ananda, hit us with this form guide, man.
Yeah, I just pulled this up. It's just really interesting. So if you guys can see there on the screen, I know it's a little small, but it's a form guide for basically all of the just our record, both for Colorado and us. And it's interesting, Rob. I wanted to pull this up because if you look at just all of our games dating back, Rob, we have not had a draw since May 18th. That was now 4 months ago. In a scoreless draw. That's 17 games, man. Scoreless draw at Charlotte. 17 games. And they've all been wins or losses, right? And so you think about, we always talk about this comparison to last year. You think about last year, the Galaxy had 8 wins all of last season. We already have, how many wins we have? Like 17, right? So we've already doubled that. And the problem is, you remember how many games last year that we felt like we were tie merchants? We were like 1-point merchants, right? All those games that we were drawing last year. So last year we had 12 draws. This year we'll only have 7. So I think one of the big sort of determining factors for this year's success, man, is just our ability to win games. And that's credit to our offense, right? Our offense has been red hot this year and converting some of those draws into wins, and that's huge. That's 2 more points per game, right? So I think that's one of the big differences this year. And if you look, we've won 12 out of our last 18 matches. So form wise, man, we are doing really, really good. Colorado, as we talked about, they lost their last 2 of 3, but they've won the 4 of the last 6, and I think things started to really turn around for them after that impressive showing Leagues Cup, Robert. I mean, they've really turned things around, I think, under Chris Armas. Sure. He's got him to become a really, really well-drilled team. And I would say that alongside Will Kuntz, now, granted, I think Will Kuntz is running away with this title, running away with this trophy, but I think you've got to give credit to the front office of Colorado and the turnaround that they've done. You've talked about it, man. This is a battle between the 13th and 14th place teams in the Western Conference last year, and look where they are now, fighting for a top 4 position. So yeah, man, just really, really interesting if you look at this, both of the teams and their form coming into this game.
I mean, depending on results, if the Galaxy lose to Colorado and RSL and LAFC drop points, I mean, Colorado could technically get up to 2nd place, man. It's crazy. And then like you said, 14th versus 13th last year. It's the turnaround has been great, and I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but their president Padraig Smith. I'm gonna say
Patty.
You're right.
Yeah, there you go.
P. Smith. Anyway, but yeah, he's done a fantastic job bringing in all the players that he's brought in and making them a contender. Armas, I referenced watching that interview with him earlier. He brought up P. Smith as well there, and gave him credit for putting the team together, putting a competitor together. And for all those people out there that say that the fans aren't heard, there was a fan boycott in Los Angeles. There was changes for the better that resulted. There was a fan boycott in Colorado. There was changes for the better that happened as a result. And look where these 2 teams are now.
And no surprise that these 2 coaches are in contention for MLS Coach of the Year as well, right, Robert? So yeah, I mean, I think credit needs to be given to both sides here. So it should be an interesting matchup for sure.
What you thinking, Ananda, about this starting 11? I know that you always talk about it's not the starting 11 anymore, but it's about the team. But who do you have in the starting 11?
Yeah, by the way, real quick, Robert, just on Marco Royce. So I did see a video floating around Twitter somewhere that he was practicing with the team. So I think this is more precautionary than anything. There was a picture of him posted in training. So he was training with the team as well, Robert, not sort of alone, sort of doing his own exercises or his own training. So that's a good sign. I think we're just kind of, like Sophie always says, this wrap him up in cotton wool, right? And put him on the windowsill kind of thing. I think we just want to make sure that he is 100% for the playoffs.
Good for
we're
the
going to
playoffs.
need him. Yeah, exactly. That's where we really need him. Not to say that we don't need him for, locking up that number 1 seed, but I think just taking a precautionary measure there is better. So if you look at the LA Galaxy side of things now, with him out of that lineup, I think the like for like there would be Marky Delgado, right? Who we saw, I think the last game that I want to say he started, he kind of struggled a little bit, Rob. So, he's been kind of in and out of the team, but I think this is a good opportunity for him again, for us really to show that depth and for him to show his talent. And, he's been one of the trusted guys with Greg Vanney. I think that's probably the like for like replacement there. Other than that, the other interesting call is going to be that center back, Robert. I mean, do we think it's going to be Garces or do you think it's going to be Jalen Neal, right? Jalen Neal was taken out of the firing line a little bit. I think also just to give him a little bit of a break as well. But Emilio Garces, man, we talked about his performance that last game. What a debut. What a start for the kid. So that's going to be a really interesting call. What do you think, man? What's your gut telling you on that one, on the center back call?
Honestly, I think Greg will go with Jalen. He's been going with Jalen most often. Emilio Garces showed really well. In fact, some people rate Emilio over Jalen, but I think the sample size is still too small.
Agree.
To pass judgment on that one. But yeah, I think Greg is, like you've been saying all season, kind of risk adverse in that area. I think he's going to go with what he's gone with all year, and that's Jalen. But the more interesting one for me is, are we going to see a Julian Aude start, or is John Nelson going to retain his place?
I don't know if Julian's fit yet to do a 90 minutes, and especially with that altitude, Robert, I'm assuming that he will get some minutes off the bench, hopefully. So hopefully, yeah, we'll see some minutes off the bench. I don't think he's fit enough to start. And we know, I think it's been well documented, sort of Julian's just injury struggles in general, and we don't want to overcomplicate that with fitness issues as well, right? So I think we're just going to ease him in as well over these last 3 games. That's just my instinct on it.
We have a friend of the show and
okay,
and a man who still has not celebrated his birthday, and we need to do that. Mike Gray, aka Miggy Grease, he says, I was told Neal not starting was fitness related.
That was the last match. Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
So
okay.
I mean that's just even more credence there. Like, if he's fit, I think he's going to get the start in this one. But yeah, I mean, at some point you need to get Julian back to fit, right? And there's only 3 games left in the season to do it, so you got to give him minutes.
Yeah, but he needs to earn it, man. Like, I'll tell you, John Nelson has been an absolute rock on that left side. I think he's one of the. We talk about unsung heroes like the Diego Fagundes is in that 4-game stretch where Ricky was out even earlier in the season. John Nelson has been another unsung hero, man. That guy has been rock solid, and I think it would be harsh for Greg to pull him out right away. To insert Julian back in the starting lineup. I think John Nelson's earned his starting spot, Papa, if you ask me. He's done an impeccable job at the left-hand side.
Yeah, no, he's done well. We always say, like, if we don't talk about you, that's a good thing if you're a defender, right? And we really never have to say, like, Nelson created this problem or this moment or something like that. So yeah, it would be harsh, but at the end of the day, Greg has to go with who we think is going to be best and better positioned to help them in the long run. We saw it when Julian was out there with the Galaxy at the beginning or halfway through the year. He was getting into the offense a lot and creating valuable overloads for the team. So that's something that you're not going to get from John Nelson. John Nelson's going to be solid defensively, but he's not going to join the attack like Julian Aude is. Likewise, you're not going to get the defensive stability from Aude that you would from Nelson. But my point remains, you're going to have to get him the minutes to get there and be game fit. So, I wouldn't be surprised if, we get maybe 60 from John Nelson, and then you get Aude, especially because Saturday's coming up. That gives you an opportunity to give Aude minutes and kind of spell John Nelson,
Yep.
who 3 days later will probably start again. But anyway, that's my spiel on Julian Aude. Got to get him minutes, got to get him ready. Just like you're conserving Royce, you got to get Aude ready. Ananda, who do you think is do you want to look at Dangermen for each team, or do you want to hit us up with a couple of stats?
I will.
That might win the day.
Yeah, I did want to point just a couple things out from the stuff that I normally, flash on the screen there, with, just the tables that I normally pull up. But I did want to pull up a couple things, Rob, that I thought was interesting. Let's look at big chances. So, I mean, we both know that coming into this game, these are two really, really good offenses. But I think the interesting thing, and this is another sort of key indicator on the Galaxy's success this year, Rob. If I look at big chances, that the table there on the right-hand side, Colorado's second in the league at 99 big chances this year. LA Galaxy is fourth at 88. But look at the big chances missed. Colorado's missed 61. That's about a 60%. They missed 60% of their big chances, right? Where LA Galaxy's only missed 48. That's about 50%. So I think one of the things that I take out of that as a positive, which is we're finishing our big chances a lot more this year, especially than last year for sure. But that's a good sight to see. Earlier in the season, Robert, I think we were a lot higher than 50% in terms of our big chances missed. And I remember we had so many conversations earlier in the season about, man, if we would have finished more of our chances, we would have, won this game or had a better result, right? But now it looks like, especially with how Ricky's finishing his chances, how Gabi Peck is finishing his chances, how Dejan Jovlic is finishing his chances. Man, it looks really good. We just got to get JP up there. And I forgot who said it last time. I think it was Matthew Pinchback. He said that, JP, I just want to see you in the playoffs. That's it, right? Let me see it in the playoffs, and we're good.
That's it, primo.
The other thing, too, that I wanted to point out is this is another team, Robert, that likes to win the ball high up the pitch. I remember having this distinct conversation with Matt Pollard as well last time we had him on. And before we played Colorado, they love to win that ball high up the pitch. Possessions won, final third per match. Sixth in the league at 4.9. So, again, building out of the back, especially now we're on the road. So they're going to be the team on the front foot. They're going to be the aggressors. We're going to have, I'm assuming there's going to be a spell like what we did against Vancouver, where we could not get out of our own half because they like to press. They like to win the ball high up the pitch. That's going to be really interesting to watch as well, Robert. And, every time we face a team like this, it's always, can we take care of the ball? Can we take care of possession? Can we be smart in those decisions, especially building out of the back? Because as Greg likes to call it, we like to shoot ourselves in the foot and death by a million passes, right? Or whatever the saying goes. The
burden of possession.
That's the best one of them all, right? So we've got to be tidy in possession, both building out of that back in that first phase and in the final phase as well.
Yeah, no, this is one of those teams that the Galaxy it has trouble with on paper, and then we saw it in the last match. I mean, Colorado made a game of it the last time. No goals in the second half, but it was definitely nervy. They have weapons that can hurt you. Of course, you have Mihailovic. He's been 11 goals, 13 assists. He's been great for them. And then you have man, I wish Matt Pollard was here to help me with the pronunciation again.
Navajo.
Rafael Navajo, who has 14 goals and 5 assists this year. But the big thing here for me, Ananda, is that Cole Bassett absence, right? They don't really have like that third option like the Galaxy does, right? Who Greg after the last match said, it's if it's not one guy who can beat you, it's another guy who can beat you. I mean, the Galaxy have the history makers, the front four, plus a Marco Royce, plus a Diego Fagundes who can, come in and contribute. But Colorado doesn't really have that third option after Cole Bassett, right? It's Mihailovic, Navajo, and Cole Bassett, really, who have been the bulk of their goals and assists. I mean, between the three of them, they have 50. So with Cole Bassett being out, they're missing a lot. So who's going to step out and step up in his absence? Is it going to be Calvin Harris? who has 4 goals and 3 assists.
The DJ? No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Yeah, he's gonna throw on the shirt. But no, Jonathan Lewis has 3 goals and 3 assists as well. And Omir Fernandez has only 1 goal but 4 assists. So one of those 3 guys is going to have to step up and become an option, an offensive threat for Houston, not Houston, for Colorado to be successful in this match. If they don't, I mean, they're going to struggle offensively. Can they go ahead?
Oh, no, I was gonna say, can I call out an underrated, I think, player that for me, I've always sort of on the other side enjoyed watching him play, and he's always been a threat, at least to me. I don't know if it shows up on the stat sheet, Robert, but Connor Ronan, he's always been really, really good against the Galaxy. I remember the game that we had last season as well. I think it was at home. Man, he was a threat, and I feel like maybe with the absence of Cole Bassett, he might take more of an advanced role. He's a really good dribbler, and he makes really good decisions in that midfield. He's just a really, really tidy player. So I think that's one to watch out for as well. At least like from my recalling of watching us against Colorado, he's always been a player that stuck out to me. He's like one of those Azil Jackson type of players. He always stands out. Just a really, really tidy player. And of course, Rosenberry on that right side, man, he's always a tank, right? JP's going to have his handfuls with Keegan Rosenberry.
Keegan, you know what? I don't think that Ronan is going to be able to fill Bassett's boots. I mean, the incredible thing about Bassett is that he's doing so much shielding of that back four, but he's providing so much to the offense as well. And Ronan's not that type of player. I mean, he's going to be able to provide the cover. He's just not going to be able to get offensively as involved as Bassett is. And so that's what I'm saying is like they're going to be missing a lot with his absence. And so that's why the Galaxy need to take advantage of it. I mean, Ricky, everybody knows like going into these games, like the opposite midfield keys in on Ricky, right? Normally that guy would have been Bassett. He's not going to be there. Ricky is going to have a little bit of an easier time with somebody like Ronan than with Bassett. So, trying to pump you up, Ricky. Go out and get him. But yeah, man, I think that's going to be a big miss, and I think that's going to be a good opportunity for the Galaxy to finally get a win out there in Colorado. And speaking of getting that win, chat, let me know, fill in the blank. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to fill in the blank, chat. Let us know. Ananda, I'm going to pose you the same question. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to
score first, Papa. In our last 3 road matches that we have lost away from home, we have not scored first, and that's always spelled trouble. And if you think about all of the, we've talked about on the road this year, just sort of the elements, right? Not just being in another city, but in this case, we're dealing with altitude, right? That always plays a part. And like you said, we historically have not won in that stadium in 7 years, since 2017. So the only way that we're going to have a chance to at least get a point, if not all 3, is we have to take the game early. We have to take the chance early and score first. Will we do that? Well, let's just wait till my prediction, because I can go either way with that. But yeah, we have to give us a fair shot. We've got to score first, because the record this year, I think I brought up this stat a few pods ago. I think we were 8 out of 14 of road games where we've given up the first goal. We have lost 8 out of 14. The other 6 have ended up in a draw, or I think the SKC win, for example, that was one of the few wins that we had. So we have to score first, and that will take a little bit of air out of the building, and that will put us in the right foot. If we do not score first, that puts a lot of pressure on this team, and I'm not sure with the altitude and all the factors going against us. No Marco Royce. Not sure if we have the tools to come back. Maybe, but they haven't shown me a pattern of that this year, at least recently, right? Like I can't remember.
Not on the road anyway.
Yeah, not on the road. Exactly. Not on the road. Not on the road version of this team. So yeah, got to score first, in my opinion.
Ooh. I mean, I'm not far off from that. For me, it'd be for the Galaxy to win this match. They have to be locked in from jump. Right from minute 1, they have to be locked in, ready to go. I mean, I just keep thinking back to that Seattle loss in the Leagues Cup, which was a big match in that tournament, and they came out and were so flat-footed in a place where they've historically had trouble. I don't want them to get into that building and feel the ghosts of all that trouble that they've had and already go into it with the mindset of, this game is half lost already. No, I want them to be locked in. I want them to be focused. And I think that if they do that, I think we've seen this team has the ability to come out and score 2 or 3 goals in, in
bunches,
10, 15 minutes, right? So
right.
if they can get out there, score 2 early goals, I mean, like you said, deflate the building, take the fans out of it. There's no reason to think that they can't get this win. But let's see what Vegas has to say. This has been studiously prepared by statistician Dr. Raquinho.
So the current odds right there are on the screen. Colorado Rapids is at a +110, so that's a 45% chance about just for the home team, and LA Galaxy at a +175. That's about a 36% chance, which, Rob, for a road team, that's pretty darn high for a road team. And 45 to 36%, that's not that big of a difference. And so that's surprising me a little bit. Maybe the bookies are, putting into account that Colorado just played a few days ago. Maybe they're taking into account a little bit. I don't know, man. Like that's really, really close. A lot closer than I actually would expect. This is not going to be an easy game. We've talked about a lot of the reasons why. And it's going to be one of those things, right, Rob? Is it going to be rest or rust coming into this game with the Galaxy? It's always one of those things where you have those extended layoffs. Again, Colorado, they were just on the road, so they did have to travel back from Minnesota to Colorado, but they've been there for a couple days now, and of course, that's their home stadium. Those guys are used to the altitude. I'm sure we are not. If I heard correctly, the Galaxy were leaving, I believe, tomorrow morning to Denver. Tomorrow morning, so they'll have a day to get used to the altitude, and then have a light training session or whatnot. I don't know what it is that they do, if it's a light training session or recovery. But yeah, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And like I said, I'm surprised the bookies are making it that close.
We did pose to chat a question about what the Galaxy needed to do to win this match. GCam says, be clinical. The one and only Rocio says, defend. Tony Montana says, score first, score early. XPH, executive producer Herb, says, stay focused and stop making those ongoing turnover mistakes. Agreed. Tony adds, make sure to get open in those half spaces in attacks. Anthony Martinez says, they have to score 4 goals because our defense is highly suspect. Studio says, gotta score early before the altitude takes us out of it. Agreed.
Yeah.
Chat.
All good points.
Now, what comes next. Start dropping those predictions in there. We already asked you what the Galaxy need to do to win, and let's assume that they do what you said. Now, give us a scoreline, give us a prediction. Let us know what you think your LA Galaxy is going to come up with this Wednesday. Ananda, I went first last time, so te toca.
Man, I'm going to record this because I need to start recording on a little notepad, who went first. All right. So I'm going to notate this in my head. So Rob, at the home game against Austin, you're going to go first. I'm going to notate that right now on my computer. But really quick, I'm not going first because you know what? Chat's already sounding off and they always get the first take, Robert. So here we go. XPH says 2-2. Barry scores a tying goal in the 88th minute. Interesting. Not out of the realm of possibility, by the way. What was that game that he scored the tying goal in? It was a home game. Can't remember against who now, but it was a tying goal sort of in the last minutes. Anthony says 4-1. Israel says Galaxy win 3-2. GCam says 2-1 Galaxy, all goals in the first half. Interesting. That's going to make it for a nervy one. But Rob, I am going with a heart pick today, and I don't know why I'm feeling confident, and I don't know why I feel like we're going to...
Hold on. We got one from the one and only.
Oh, she's got a heart pick as well. Galaxy win 2-1, but we'll tie 1-1. See, that's the interesting thing. See, I love these heart picks. Tony, 2-2 tie for his head pick, and heart pick is 3-2 Galaxy. I'm not going to be too far off from Rocio and Tony. Rob, I'm going to go with the exact scoreline when we won there 7 years ago in 2017, and that is a 3-1 Galaxy win. I don't know why I feel confident, but I'm thinking and hearkening back to a conversation that we had when we had Jets Shofi on about, special moments breed special seasons. And this team we've struggled recently on the road, right? And maybe it's the extra rest. Maybe it's sort of like us pulling together and really galvanizing for these last 3 games, us seeing the finish line, us seeing that number 1 seed just ready for us to take it by the horns, right? And I feel like, Sophie talked about breaking ducks. And that's a huge thing for this team's mentality. And we've been praising this team's mentality all season.
Yeah, they've done it. They've done it a couple times this year.
We talked about beating Seattle for the first time in a long time. We've talked about beating SKC on the road for the first time since 2016 or 2015, something like that. So I think this is going to be one of those games where we realize the importance and we're going to step up to the plate. Again, I might be completely over in my head, but I'm spreading good juju instead of bad juju and no trap game vibes. None of that. I'm spreading good juju out there in the ether, and I feel like we are going to score first. And like you said, maybe it might be a 1-1 game heading into the second half. And like you said, we find a way to score in bunches. I hope that happens in the second half. I think it's going to be a Ricky Rocket special. He is going to find ways to unlock his defense. One of the things that I did watch some of the highlights too, Rob, and Minnesota really threatened them with speed, especially on the break. And Colorado's, especially fullbacks in this case, had a hard time dealing with them. So I feel like Ricky is going to find those unlocked passes to Gabby Peck or JP. And I think that's how we're going to unlock this defense. So, man, 3-1. I feel confident. Galaxy, don't make me look dumb, please.
El Presi, Andrew Elisana says G's win 3-1 as well. Yeah, I have a head and a heart as well. Basically, head says the Galaxy tie, heart says the Galaxy win. It's gonna be a tough match. I mean, there's pros and cons to Colorado coming in this match. I mean, they're missing Vines, they're missing Bassett, but the Galaxy haven't won there in 7 years. Additionally, they've only lost there twice this year. So it's going to be a difficult match. So I mean, my heart wants to say Galaxy win, but my head says realistically it'll be a tie, which it still takes care of business because they need 7 points, right? And that's one of those points, right? Then they need to take care of business at home, and of course take care of business at Houston, which you have to get a result on the last day, which is never great. Never great for the Galaxy.
I do not want to be in that position. That's the one thing, man. Like, let's not get into that position where we need something out of that game, for it to mean something. Granted, it's this year, it's not to get in the playoffs, but I don't care. Like, I want everything to be sewn up and us celebrating. When we know that result at Autzen, right?
Well, they might have to go there and get a point anyway, because like we said, 7 points is a magic number.
Maybe. Well, we'll see. We'll see how the results hold up, right? And LAFC's got to play again. They've got to play 4 games in a short amount of time as well. So that's something to think about. But the one thing, Rob, I think too that'll go a long way in sort of increasing the LA Galaxy's chances is, and this will probably be my second thing that they need to do, which is they need to manage the game. And because of the altitude, they need to pick and choose their moments when they want to attack, when they want to press, or when they want to go after. Don't go chasing after lost causes. Conserve your energy. Make sure we don't lose the ball often so that our rest defense is settled and we're not. If it's a track meet like against Portland, we're done. If we go like in the heat and humidity against Dallas, remember, Rob, like we were losing like silly balls in the midfield and our defense was getting caught in transition, and that's how Dallas killed us that day. So we've got to avoid track meets. We've got to be smart and manage the game effectively, because that altitude, it's going to kick in at some point, whether it's in the first half or the second half, right?
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is don't go chasing waterfalls. Just stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to.
This guy.
Is that what you're saying? No. I agree with you, man. Look, this match is I think it might even be more important than the Austin home match, right? Because
I agree.
This is the one that is, if you can win this one, you take all the pressure off of yourself and you put it all into your opponents. Totally. And not only that, but you beat a good Colorado team. The Galaxy are expected to beat Austin at home. Austin is not a playoff team. They lost to Austin already away, which was a blip. and so they're expected to beat Austin at home, and then anything could happen on decision day. But this is the one that they need to take care of. This is the it suddenly became the most important match of the season, right? Because if they win,
because
this
it's our
one,
next. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's they're in the driver's seat. But like I said, even if it were the Austin game on Saturday, I wouldn't say that it's as important as this Colorado match. I mean, just quite simply put, they need to prove a couple things to themselves mentally. We can win on the road when it matters. We can beat a Colorado team that we haven't beat in 7 years. I mean, they've been doing it all year, getting the three match win streak, beating SKC, finally beating Seattle. So this needs to be just one more that they notch off the list. In a season of moments, just like Judge Sophie said. So it's going to be tough, but I think the Galaxy can do it. My heart says they can do it. My head is kind of like
Same.
Watch yourself. Don't let La Toxica hurt you. But that's where we are right now. Coming up after this match, the Galaxy is back home. It is the final regular season home match of the year. Like we said, that'll be on Saturday, October 5th at 7:30 p.m. against Austin FC. Galaxy out for revenge after losing to Austin in the reverse fixture in Austin. Of course, we will have the Colorado reaction / Austin preview on Thursday, October 3rd. And after Austin at home on the 5th, the Galaxy does not play again for 2 weeks before their final match of the season against Houston. I believe that match is on the 19th at 6 p.m. So that's where we are, Nanda. Do you have anything to add before we get on out of here?
No, I was going to say, for building on your very last point that you said before we're signing off here, is and I put it in the title of this, or the title of the show, guys, which is, can this team finally make a statement on the road? Remember, we've lost our last 3 road games. It hasn't been pretty on the road, but this is a time now to make a statement and to show all of us fans and all the media that are doubting us, that are saying that there's all these other teams in the West that we need to go through. This is a time to finally make a statement. And like I said, just grab that number 1 seed. It's right there in our faces, guys. All we need to do is just grab it. And this would be a great statement win and a great cause, or a great step for that cause. So yeah, man, looking forward to this game. Please, Galaxy, don't make us look stupid. We believe in you. I think you guys got this, but you got to show us, man. Please do not make us look dumb.
We take care of that plenty well ourselves. Don't contribute to it, Galaxy. Guys, this is an away match, so if you have a chance, get out there to community watch parties. Of course, there's going to be a couple of them going out across the Galaxy Landia sphere. The homie Israel Berrigan, who was in chat, hopefully we get to meet you and see you on Wednesday. Me and Ananda are trying to get out to the Gastro Pub so we can go ahead and catch that game over there. But all you guys should definitely try to link up with your Galaxy community and share that time with them. And then especially show up on Saturday and pop out, show out, do your thing, scream real loud, cheer real hard, and show your LA Galaxy that you love them in their last regular home game of the season. Ananda, I think that's pretty much it from us. If you're here, it's because you found us on youtube.com/@Lacuna Galaxiana. Thank you so much for doing so. Put someone on, let someone know that you love, to go ahead and subscribe to this show so they can get their Galaxy fix too. And of course, if you're so inclined, go ahead and visit us on buymeacoffee.com/@Lacuna Galaxiana. Once again, chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you being here with us and spending a little time talking LA Galaxy soccer with these two fools who, are getting towards the tail end of the season and are starting to get excited about these special moments that the LA Galaxy are putting together. Ananda, it could be the 6th this year. It could very well be a history-making season. Let's keep crossing our fingers that happens. But like we said, it starts with one, and it starts with Colorado. It starts on Wednesday. 3 games after the season, LA Galaxy need to win them, or at least get 7 points to be in control of their own destiny. Hopefully they win all 3, and they go into those playoffs feeling mighty fine. We're feeling mighty fine because you were here with us tonight. Thank you once again. And one thing left to say, Ananda. G's up! Thanks, y'all. Do it, yo.